Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Precious Metal Summit in Zurich, and with me here for the first time is AVZ Minerals, and the Managing Director Nigel Ferguson wants to give us an insight into his company. Nigel, good morning.
Good morning, Jochen. Nice to be here.
Great to have you here. Thanks for taking the time. AVZ Minerals, what is the company doing? Where are you working about?
Certainly, the company's got a very large asset in the DRC, the first lithium project that's coming off the Granks in the Congo. It's about 500 kilometres north of Lubumbashi, so it's up into the northeast. We've drilled to find 400 million tonnes at 1.65%.
Wow!
So it's a very big resource. We consider it to be the hardest undeveloped, or the largest, highest undeveloped deposit in the world.
Okay. Wow! What translate this tonnes-wise?
It's 6.6 million tonnes of lithium. It's a lot.
Okay.
Works out to be roughly, I think, on our estimated cash flows, about a 20 million ounce gold deposit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a nice combination.
It's a big boy. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, what a relation. Jesus. Okay, so I mean, lithium is definitely the key factor for the e-mobility. We all know that we need it for the batteries, whether if there will come different battery types in the future, whatever. But I think that's at least 10 years away. But lithium-ion battery is the key so far for the e-mobility. So your deposit certainly would be very important for the future. What have you done so far on the deposit? Do you have definitive feasibility study?
Yep.
Please give us an idea.
We've completed 2 scoping studies, a 2 million tonne throughput and a 5 million tonne throughput. The 2 million obviously gave us some fantastic numbers, sufficient enough to make us do the 5 million. The deposit is big enough to do a 5 million. We were thinking about doing a 10 million tonne throughput, so a massive deposit, but to a massive mine. But we realised that very quickly we would be shipping a lot of material on the railway lines. So the idea is to do the 5 million tonne. We've completed that, an MPV of 2.65 billion, 10%, pre-tax, pre-royalty, internal rate of return is 64%, so it's very strong financials. That gave us the underpinning material to be able to go through to DFS. So we're about 75–80% of the way through a DFS at the moment, expected Q1 next year.
Wow, fantastic. What would be the Capex for that?
The Capex we're looking at the moment is roughly $350 million US.
That's not that much for such a large project.
It's going to be done in stages, Joachim. We want to do a DMS only to start with. Use the fine material rejected from that to do further test work for flotation cells recovery, and that'll give us around about 80% recovery total. And then we want to do a hydroxide plant as well. That's the stage. So first stage, 350 million. The flotation cells, I'm not quite sure what we'd be looking at, but maybe another 150. And then I think the hydroxide, we're looking at somewhere around about $300–400 million as well. So it gets bigger.
It is, yeah. That's almost $1 billion if I calculate that completely.
Not far from
it's 800 to $1 billion, yeah. 800 million to $1 billion. Okay, so that means that you need really potential partners for that. I mean, what's the size of the company with the market cap today?
Market cap's $110 million.
Yeah, so probably you need definitely somebody there.
We do.
But do you see already interest, let's say, from the car makers, from the big battery makers? Because I could imagine they need somebody who has a large deposit enough that it really makes sense to go long-term for the production.
That's exactly right. No, you're smack on there. We do have a lot of interest from those manufacturers that are looking longer term. We mentioned before 5–10 years of production. I think we're probably looking 20 to 30 years of production, no problem. Lithium is a big ship moving in the night, and it's going to be very hard to turn it around. We have already seen very much an upturn in the number of people contacting us and wanting to discuss the project. We've also got some very good contacts already. This morning in Australia we announced a strategic investor. Yibin Yangli has come on board. They're a Chinese hydroxide manufacturer linked with CATL. So CATL, Contemporary Ampetex Technology, are very much a leader in the battery stakes in global production, basically. I think Tesla are very close to signing a deal with them to have batteries supplied to them for Chinese motor vehicles. So yes, a very bright future, I think, an upturn in the market in the next couple of years as well. So I'm hoping to jump on the back of that with production starting in a couple of years as well.
Okay, fantastic. As this is a hard rock deposit, I mean, we know from Australian hard rock deposits, they have production costs like $7,000–8,000 a ton sometimes. So some of them suffer already in this market environment, because I think lithium is between $8,000, probably $10,000 a ton now. It's a contracting market, of course. It's not a standardized product. So where where do you see your costs?
Well, the numbers you've just talked about there, I think, are for hydroxide. So yes, you're quite right, $10,000 a tonne or thereabouts, and it's costing around about $8,000 to produce a tonne. We're producing a DMS spodumene concentrate. So this is going to be somewhere around about $600 a tonne or $550 in current markets. We still make money on that. We still make reasonable money on that. So the idea is to stage it, move forward. We've seen a lot of companies in Australia fall over and have issues. So we just don't want to go down those pitfalls as a producer. We want to make sure we do it right.
Fantastic. So let's say the major target for next year is the definitive feasibility study.
Correct.
Do you have the money to do that?
Yes. No. We're fully funded for that, but we didn't want to run the company short. I did make a pledge to the shareholders that we wouldn't take on any more cash unless it was a strategic investment. So we've got $14.1 million, I think, coming in from.
Super. How much does it cost?
The DFS total cost is probably going to be around about $1.5 million, I would think, at the end of the day. So we've got 6 in the bank at the moment, so we should be able to last that through. We do have some additional drilling we want to do on the project. We have another prospect within the licence that is called Carrier de l'Est, and that's probably the same, if not bigger in size than Rohstoff, where our main resource is. So at the end of the day, we could have 1 billion tonnes of resource. Not that we need 1 billion tonnes, but that's the size of the beast.
Nice to have.
It is, yes.
Fantastic. What would be, let's estimate everything goes the way how you want it. Let's say, as planned, what would be the time horizon you might be in production?
We're expecting, obviously, the DFS in Q1 next year. We need to sort out some financing on the back of that, which we've already discussing with quite a few people. We would like to get the long lead items sorted out during 2020, with construction being done the end of 2020 and into 2021, with production starting 2021, late in 2021, mid-2021.
Fantastic.
But I understand that the DMS plant is not a sophisticated piece of equipment in mining terms for processing. So it should be a very simple build. So it shouldn't take that long. I'm expecting sort of 9 months, maybe stretching to 12.
Fast,
but I think it's reasonable to assume that we could probably get that done in that time frame. So certainly 2020 construction, 2021 will be into production.
Fantastic. So that would mean to me that you really hit the market like when let's say the e-mobility worldwide is really starting to move.
Well, I hope they wake up so sooner rather than later. But yes, I think there's going to be a change.
Fantastic.
I think from all the information we're seeing, there's very much an underestimation of the demand that's going to be coming. I mean, when you hear the likes of VW, a massive group, wanting to have all of their vehicles by 2050, I think it is, electric. There's a lot of other vehicles that are being made in between there. A lot of the German manufacturers, the Toyotas of this world, they're all looking to get mobility up and running, e-mobility up and running. So I think we'll probably be riding the wave.
Yeah, I mean, when we produce now in the world, let's say 10 to 15 million e-cars, and also don't forget about hybrids. They have also battery in there.
That's right.
So there's
and motorcycles and buses.
And look at the streets of Zurich with all those little scooters. And they're becoming more and more, and the e-bikes, whatever. So this all requires a lot of lithium for the future, right?
It does.
Yeah. So you're in the right market.
Yeah, exactly. I think we are, and I really can't see a change in the technology. In a very quick time. I think that's the thing. These massive changes in technology will take 30 to 40 years to change, I would think.
Fantastic. So that means also you think that the lithium price, I would call it the lithium price for the contracting, will go slowly but surely move up probably
I think
in the next 2 years?
I tend to look at benchmark minerals a fair bit to see what they're talking about, and they're suggesting that by within 2 years' time, it'll be back up to $700 for SC6, which is what we're hoping to produce to start off with, and then rising up to $1,000 by 2040, I think it was. But I think that might be conservative. I think you might see it be an exponential growth quite quickly because there's going to be a lot of demand.
Fantastic. So you're right time and right location and ready to move, I would say.
Yes, I hope so. Very good.
Thank you very much. All the best for that, and we look forward to hear more from you next year.
Thanks, Jakob.
Great, thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there was Nigel Ferguson, the Managing Director of AVZ Minerals, and you heard it, in the DRC, largest lithium, hard rock lithium project in the world, and a fantastic number so far. So for next year, already the DFS, and probably latest in 2022 beginning, hopefully 2021 already, there will be production. And I think Nigel is doing it the right way. So check out the company, and thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Zurich.